See, there are a lot of advantages also as far as this kind of urban farming is concerned. Though we want to do urban farming, there is no land available. There is very less land available. So this kind of technologies can survive in the less.
All of you. Namaste. Good afternoon. Sat Sri Akal. So I will be speaking on a very important topic after Dr. Barma Singh ji, who has given a very comprehensive overview of the hydroponics growing system, the prevalent in the world and in the country. So my topic is retractable greenhouse and
Sir, why is it not clear? No audio.
Dr. Maurya, am I audible? Hello?
It's audible, sir.
Hello? Okay. Thank you very much. And the most prevalent term is greenhouse in protected cultivation, which is a structure with walls and roof made chiefly of transparent material such as glass or plastic, in which plants requiring regulated climatic conditions are grown. So, what are the advantages of this protected cultivation technology? So, it gives a better growing environment. It protects against the adverse weather. It increased the yield up to 5 or sometimes 10 times, saving key inputs like labor, water, fertilizer, and pesticide, and better growth and uniformity to the crop. So when we talk about the different protected cultivation structures, so net house is very prevalent in the tropical climate. So it is a low cost, best suitable for dry location, just like your Rajasthan. Price is something like 300 to 600 rupees per square meter. So you can easily cover the large area. And you might have seen that most of nursery that in a small town or big city, they have these net houses. You can protect against the insect with these net houses, and you can extend your growing season. So, but problem that during rainy season, the disease press increase because it can't protect against the rain. So it's sometimes difficult to grow organically also, and doesn't protect from frost or dust. So sometimes due to the storm or wind, these structures are damaged. So most of you have seen in a tropical dry location, you have seen these structures. They are successful in those areas. Tunnels is the next structure that works very well during winter or at a higher elevation with the temperature 10 to 28 degrees centigrade. Crops are kept warm than outside because outside is cold. You can keep your crops healthy inside tunnels. So you can protect against the rain, hail. And they are very low cost structures. You can install anywhere, either on the plain or on the sloping land also. Price is something like 5,000 to 1,000 rupee, 500 to 1,000 rupee per square meter. So here also you can advance your growing season. But here also that you can't protect your crop from insect because sides are open, so insect may enter. And humidity also causes a problem. So here, if you are planning organic farming, then it's difficult to grow in the tunnels. And if you are planning a large area, so it's very difficult to optimize your climate, and also the very difficult to do the automation of such structures. You can do the automation of irrigation and fertigation system, but not the environmental control. So it's very difficult to manage the large area. You need a lot of labor if you are planning in hectares. But if you are planning 1 or 2 or few tunnels, then you can do very well. So there is also a risk of blown away by the storm or high wind. Polyhouse is a very popular actually term in India. You might have seen everywhere. So they are working very well in a mild climate. Actually, mild means that neither too hot or neither too cold. So you can protect the crop against rain, hail, or cold or snow also. And here also you can cover the large area. Price is something like 1,000 to 5,000 rupees per square meter, depending that how much area you are building up. And here also you can advance your crop. You can add the insect net, shading net, different screens inside it. But here also in the stationary structure, that is the problem that crops are never exposed to the direct sunlight. So that's that cause the low transpiration rate, and that may sometimes give you the more vegetative growth and less flowering fruiting. And crops tend to suffer from nutritional deficiencies and foliar disease, especially during the rainy season, because when you have a high temperature and humidity during the monsoon period, then inside also it becomes very hot and humid. So then it invites the fungal issues. So insect pressure is also high. So there is also a risk of losing the roof if design is not proper or layout of the structure is not proper. And you need additional cooling during the summer months. So it's not very effective in a hot climate, but in a mild locations or for winter extended production, you can do very well with this structure. So next best prevalent technology, the fan pad cooled greenhouse. Here you can see that in the structure, these are the exhaust fan here also. On the opposite side, you will find the evaporative cooling system, which evacuate the water, and then this fan, they suck the air and it cool down the environment inside. It works very well during summer and protects against the rain, hail, or cold or heat. And also that you can protect the crop from the insects because it's a completely closed structure. Price of such structure is something between 2,500 to 10,000 rupees per square meter, depending upon that how much you are building and what type of material you are using. Here also you can't expose your plant to the direct sunlight. So that may sometimes give you more vegetative growth, especially during the rainy season. And also during rainy season, what happens when you have a very high humidity outside, then you can't get rid of the high humidity inside. So then it issues inside the structures also. So you might have seen that in high rainfall area like Western Ghat, Konkan region, or Eastern Ghat, or even some Himalayan region, during the rainy season, they are not very good. And also the cost of electricity, the operating cost is very high. Yeah, I will give you the figure later on. And if you are having the plastic, so that can be also blown away. So the overview of different the structure that polytunnels, they are best suitable for winter production in the plain area or at a higher elevation during the summer. Net houses are the best suitable for summer production, but not good for rainy and winter season. Poly houses, they are the best for extended winter production, or you can say the mild locations, but not for peak summer, rainy season, and also at the tropical location. Fan-fed polyhouse is the best for year-round production except for rainy season, but consumes very high power and water. So what we need to cool down summer temperature less than 35.
Sorry,
Yes, sir.
Rajendra, your slide is not visible, so you are on the screen. So can you again share the slides?
Okay.
But how come I was able to see his slides clearly? It's not visible to some it is clear.
Yes, slide was clear.
The slides
Yeah,
were
I'm
clear, at least to me. It was very clear.
okay. Let me do it again. So,
Hello?
am I visual, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Good afternoon, sir.
Sir, open your slides.
coming.
Slides.
I am coming. Let me actually, there are a lot of things open.
Actually, slide was clear, sir. But
Okay. Okay. I am coming again. So, are you seeing my slides, sir?
yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. So I will move fast forward now that where I was. So I have finished this fan pad cooling house. So overview I have just finished. So what we need actually. So we need a cool summer temperature less than 35 degrees centigrade. And we need during winter to bring up temperature above 15 degrees centigrade. We need to maintain humidity between 50 to 60%. We need to protect the crop against frost, wind, dust, erratic rain, and hailstorm, and also against insect pest and disease. And we also need a simple, not a very complex system to manage, like glass house. So we also need to think about lower power and water consumption, because both these items, they are becoming very costly and scarce in the future. And also the reliable system that can
Excuse me, sir.
prevent
I
us
guess
from the
you have,
wind and hailstorms. So
excuse me,
there is
sir.
a
I guess
brief
you have not
video.
shared your presentation.
Pardon?
Please check. I think you have not shared it, your presentation. We cannot see it.
visible है
Okay.
Sir, slide is visible, sir.
Okay.
Sir, slide is visible.
There may be problem with your system. Kindly check with that.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm sharing a one video which will give you that how this technology works. So
नाम देने तक सीमित है लेकिन सभी लोग ना समझने की बहुत दूध पिलाते हैं सांसों को
Looks like some technical glitch, Rajendra. Rajendra, are you there?
yeah, yes. I'm seeing
Yeah.
that there is
So
some
maybe while you just something like manage this, I want to chip in if Dr. Maurya allow me.
Okay.
Dr. Maurya, can I?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. One very interesting thing, what I was just thinking.
Yes,
Dr.
sir.
Brahma, sir, has given us a lot of good information on kind of opportunities we have in hydroponics. He has given lots of information as well as the prospect of this. But one thing I really want to mention, if he can pursue and learn at his age, why not we all young guys? So that was a one motivation point. And really, this is going to be the future. And yeah, as he rightly mentioned, it is not going to be replacement of the traditional farming. Here I would just want to add, over a period of a time down the line, maybe 10 year or 20 year, we are going to have two different set or a basket or a segment of agriculture or farming. So अगर हम डाउन द लाइन 10-20 साल में देखें तो हमारे जो खेती है वो दो पार्ट में बटेगी. एक होगी द ट्रेडिशनल रूरल वन एंड द सेकंड इज गोइंग टू बी द अर्बन फार्मिंग, which as very rightly Dr. Brahma sir has shared that it is going to be enabler. So yeah, traditional farming, if we'll just see, it is going to continue produce majorly the grains and partially the greens like a vegetable and fruits and everything. However, if we talk about this urban farming, it is going to be a much of greens. As whoever is in this industry, maybe they have already experienced that. Now the doctors are also saying, everybody is emphasizing, let's do a little migration from green to green to keep your health intact. So that's the only just because of this technical glitch, I thought that I may share, because tomorrow I'm going to be with you with the nutrient management, which is one of the core for hydroponics. So I think Rajendra is ready there. So one more thing, Rajendra, there was no sound in your video. So that also while sharing this,
that I found that there is something a problem.
No issue. So over to Rajendra, you carry on.
Thank you, Dr. Praveen. Thank you that I agree with you, but you have said, so there's a need of, we need to have a urban farming with the more greens. So sorry that that video was not available. So I will explain in this way that that if you are standing today on the open field, just open field, there is nothing over your head. So you might be feeling very hot. So you can't stay more than 5 minutes in the open field. But if you put up a umbrella over your head, so immediately you feel cool. So what you are changing? You are not changing the air temperature. You are blocking the infrared radiation that block the heat. So that give you the cooling effect. So similar is that this retractable roof production technology. It is just like a umbrella over your field, over your crops. So when you put up this umbrella, so you can protect your crop against the vagaries of nature. So if you see that out of 365 days, that how many days you need protection of your crop? Just think in your mind. During summer, we maybe probably after 11 or maybe 12, up to 3, 4 during summer months. Then out of 24 hours, you need just 3, 4, 5 hours when you have a very high heat. During rainy season, how many hours of rain we have in 3 months of monsoon? Maybe in some location like Rajasthan, maybe sometime 10 days overall, that if you sum up all the hours. And in some location like Mumbai, maybe 40 or 50 days of rain. And if you sum up all the winter, that during daytime, in plain area, we have a good, during winter months, daytime is very good, except when you have a fog in Punjab or Haryana or in UP or in Delhi also. Otherwise, it's good. So out of 365 days, if you calculate all your adverse conditions at your place, you will find that there are only 15 to 100, maximum 100 days, then when you have a adverse weather conditions. Otherwise, 265 days, you have wonderful period. That's why that we can grow so many crops in India. So why we are protecting our crops 365 days when we need to protect only for 50 days or 100 days? So that's the concept that with the retractable roof. When you have a good conditions outside, keep your roof open. Close it only when you have a temperature during summer 35 plus during daytime, or during winter less than 15 degree during night time, or rain during monsoon period, or storm sometime that whenever the storm occurs, then you need to close your structure. Rest of time, nature has given us so good जो हवा पानी तो धूप तो we must grow in the nature. So that's the concept with the retractable roof. Means that nature protection and climate optimization. Because here, what we do, we optimize our climate. So in this technology, we can create 75 different solutions using only 4 models, 11 different type of coverings, and 1 to 3 retractable layers. So we have 4 models, basic models. Flat roof is a as the meaning say that it has a flat profile. So this type of structure very good for tropical dry location. X-frame, it is a peak roof type model, same rafter house and A-frame. So price of these different models vary from 5,000 to 15,000 per square meter, depending upon the configuration. So I will now talk about the flat roof model. As I told you that it has a flat profile. And this model was built in 1981, first time by the Cravo. It is one of the lowest cost retractable roof house and designed to cover the hectares of crop that need climate protection. We have that uncoated roof covering here so that rainwater, when it comes, penetrates through the roof. And we also put up a coated roof covering where we need to avoid the rain. What happened that there are some holes in that plastic, so the rainwater will not fall on the crop, but it will fall in a particular pattern between the rows. So you can keep your plants dry even if the rain comes. So one motor can power nearly 1 hectare of the roof. Insect net or bird net, that if suppose that you are in a highly intensive area, so you need to install the insect net. So we can install the insect net below the roof. Either it may be a stationary type or it may be a retractable type. It depends upon the climate actually. So structure is resistant up to 110 km/h, and it has a span of 8 meter or 9.6 meter, and the height we can give. Normally the standard height is 5 meter, but we can increase up to 8 meter also, depending upon the crop. So next, the peak roof model we have X-frame. It is the newest model that, and we call it a tension structure also, because if you see that there is bracing all around the structure. So even if there is due to the wind, the structure move, then it will after the wind is over, then it will come regain its own original position. So it is also designed for a large field covering, many hectares. You can cover any crop or orchard, and that normally that minimum size we provide is 1 acre. And as I told you, it's a tension structure with the bracing all on the 4 walls. The special truss design allow the house to follow the gentle change in the slope. Means that, like you can see here also, if you have a undulating land, so without leveling that land, you can install that structure, this structure. But the condition that the slope should not be more than 7%. And also that stationary or retractable insect net you can install below the roof. So wind load capacity is 110 km/h and span is 9.6 meter. Gutter height is standard is 4.3 meter, but now we have increased up to 5 meter in the tropical location to give more volume inside. So next model of the retractable roof is a rafter house. As the word say, the rafter, so it has a wider span. So we can design this structure up to 16 meter wide. So normally we have a 14.63 meter width of this house. So it is similar to A-frame type model. So mostly the nursery people, if they use this type structure, and it can be withstand the wind load of 140 to 170 kilometer per hour. So as I told you that the width is 14.63, but we can increase up to 16 meter. Gutter height the same. The top models that we have are this A-frame. It is designed in 1993, so it is the strongest of the peak roof model with the retractable roof structure. So you will install this structure either in the snowbound area or in the coastal area where you have a very high wind load. So it can be with the standard wind load of 200 kilometers per hour and the snow load up to 250 kg per square meter. So it has a different span width, 7.31 to maximum you can go 12.8 meter. Gutter height the same that I have told you earlier. So these are the four models as I told you, but there are 75 different applications. So I have categorized these applications into four major applications. That first we call it a retractable greenhouse. So why we are saying here greenhouse? Because basically the meaning of greenhouse to heat up the environment. So this type of in this greenhouse we have a transparent roof covering, so it allow more light inside. So normally this type of structure they are built in a cold area or at the higher elevation. So this plastic, it has a life of 8 to 12 years. So when the roof is this plastic is closed, then it become a greenhouse actually. So you can trap the actually if you are installing during using this roof during winter or in a cold area. So you can trap the daytime heat in the evening before the sunset by closing the roof and wall. So you can maintain that temperature through the midnight. So normally this retractable greenhouse structure, they are installed between the 30 to 50 north-south latitude or at a higher elevation, as I told you. So suitable for North India because we have a winter in North India, and operate west where heat is a limiting factor than the cold. Now, next application is the cooling house actually. So that we need mostly in the Rajasthan or in the rest of India actually, except in the northern part of India. So here we are using the, instead of clear plastic, you can see this plastic is of white in color. So it means that it gives the more shade to the crops. So when the roof is closed, it becomes a shade house, like just like umbrella. I have given you example, or a shade of a tree, or a white cloud passing over your head. So it will work like that. Recommended for 0 to 30 degree north-south latitude. So your, I think that place Kota is something like 24 latitude. So this type of white roof, we recommend that area. Suitable for almost whole, you can say the peninsular India. So life is same, 8 to 12 years. Sometimes it lasts up to 15 years also. Because normally that when we install the polyhouse, we have a polyfilm over that. So you have to replace that polyfilm after third or fourth year. But in this case, you need not to be worry up to 8th year. And maybe sometime that if you are in a very clear environment or there is less pollution, then life may last up to 15 years also. So as I told you that uncoated type of this plastic we used in flat roof and coated in all peak roof model. So here you can see that we have two roof here. This one is clear on the top, and this one is a white below that. You can say that this is a shading screen, and from outside you can see. So just like that, the north climate like Delhi, that we have a summer very hot and winter very cold also. So we need a two roof here, one for summer operation to cool down temperature, heat inside, and other the white, sorry, the clear, that transparent one during winter to heat up the environment during the winter. So here you can see this model. Even the project where Dr. Parveen, he actually planned a project in Delhi. So there we have both these roofs. So stationary or retractable insect net, as I told you that most of people, they worry that when roof is open, then insect will come inside and destroy your crop. But we have options here that we have a stationary insect net below the roof like this, or a retractable insect net like this here below the roof. So it depends that if you are in a dry tropical location, then we will put up this stationary insect net below the roof. If you are in a humid climate or you need a year-round production of any crop, then we put up a retractable insect net just like roof. So then next application is the retractable field covering system. Means what you call the field covering, that you cover any field, any shape size, whether it's a 10 hectare or 50 hectare or 100 acre, whatever the shape size. Now we are building one of the largest project in Western UP for 115 acre. So you will be surprised. One single structure of 115 acre with one single roof. And that roof will operate within 5 minutes. It will open and it will close within 5 minutes. So that's the beauty of this technology. So even the shape of land, because sometimes you do not have a rectangle shape, whatever the shape you have, we can cover that also. We will try to maximize the area. So this field covers for large scale operations. So you can protect against all adverse conditions. So next is the application is the retractable orchard covering system, that you can cover any orchard, whether it's apple or cherry or mango or pomegranate or grapes, whatever the crops that if you feel that it is valuable. So you can cover that with the retractable roof system. So you have to see that because now due to the climate change, a lot of change in the weather has taken place. So you need to crop your valuable crops. So, potential of retractable roof production technology, that location that although that we work all over world on in any weather conditions, but we are more suitable on the tropical side, not on the temperate side. If you have a very heavy snowfall, that 5 feet or 10 feet, something like that, so that then we are not very useful. So here, if you are planning that you can grow, install this structure in Rajasthan, Punjab, Haryana, wherever the tropical dry location, as you can see this region. So mostly the flat roof structure is best suitable for this region actually. So humid tropical region like this we have a rainfall during monsoon period, or in the Western Ghat or in the Eastern Ghat region. We can have a peak roof model like X-frame or rafter or A-frame. Even the Jammu Kashmir, Himachal, that where we have a snowfall, means that snowfall should not be very heavy, like 10 feet or 20 feet. So in that location, we can work very well. Even the urban areas that Dr. Praveen or Dr. Brahma Singh is here, they have spoken on a very. So the smaller structure like 1,000 square meter or half acre or 1 acre, that you can install with the rafter house or A-frame type structure. We can't provide you the flat roof or X-frame because they are not built for a smaller operation. So production that these structure, they are very easy to operate. That those who are using our structure in India, so they know very well that you do not need a very qualified person to operate these structure. So we can grow the wide variety of crops, and this is a very important thing that you are using 60 to 90% less chemicals as compared to any other greenhouse structure. Reason behind that because we spray the fungal insecticide, because our plants are back during rainy season or due to the dew formation in the night. In the morning, you have a water on the leaf, so that will cause fungus. But in our case, that with the rise in sunrise, that retractable roof opens and it dry your plant. So it reduce your fungal issues. So production and labor cost are less. As I told you, that we use very less chemicals, and even the labor is very less also because all these structure they are automatically managed. So if you have a 1 hectare or 10 hectare of polyhouse, so imagine you are building one acre and how many houses. So you need a labor to open the side wall, to open the top wall vent. So how many people you need? So here, because this all is a sensor based, this automation is done here. So you can operate this structure with your mobile or with your laptop. Not to be go for a wide number of people. So technical and worker, they normally you will find that during daytime in summer nowadays that it's very difficult to go inside the poly house or it's even a net house also. But in Crabo, you can work throughout day. Whether you have a 45 or 50-degree temperature outside, but inside, definitely the air temperature is less. Leaf tip temperature is 15 to 25 degree less than the outside. So that's the advantage of this technology. And the power consumption, because water and power, both are these becoming very costly and scarce also. So you will be surprised that if you compare with the fan pad structure, so fan pad use the 10 times more water and power than the retractable roof. So the revenue that already I told you it's a 40-year-old technology. So you can target any price window. You can increase your quality, size, or harvesting period. And because of shelf life, you can ship your material to longer distance. So as I told you that we have actually since last 40 years, we never lost any structure due to storm, whether it's Florida or Philippines or Indonesia. So even in India, we have since the last 7 years, we are in operation, but we have never, none of our clients, they have reported that their roof is blown away by the wind. So what crops you can grow? You can grow any number of crop, any type of crop, whether it's a leafy or herbs or vegetable like tomato, capsicum, cucumber, fruit trees like apple, cherry, berry, papaya, melon, medicinal plants like ashwagandha, bacopa, jasmine, flowers, any type of flower, turmeric, ginger, and all kind of nurseries, even the animal shelters also. And you can grow mushrooms also. Leafy and greens, if you see that, this is under the tunnel, this is inside the poly house, and this is in the fan pad structure here also. So tunnels are, as I told you, very good for winter production in the north, where or at a higher elevation, where we have a cold temperatures. You can grow leafy and herbs. Polyhouse you can grow in mild location like you can say the Mount Abu or Pune or Bangalore or Solan, Simla. These locations because we have some mild type of climate, so you can grow in the polyhouse very well also. Fan-fed greenhouse, all that except for rainy season, it's good for growing these leafy and herbs. So you can install the smaller size of the structure in the peri-urban area or urban area. So you can install the any type of system, hydroponic like NFT, grow bag, aeroponics, event flow, and floating raft, which Dr. Praveen will be covering. So I will not go into details. So under the retractable roof, we already have 2-3 projects here in India. But you can see here the quality of leaf is very good, and and except that some during some hot season or maybe during winter we may have some problems, but otherwise 10 months you can grow very good leafy and herbs under the retractable roof. And as I told you that water consumption and power consumption is very less. So we can go with the minimum size of 1,000 square meters. So there is a small that video that will show you that quality of leaves that we have in Simply Fresh in Hyderabad. So we have this project Simply Fresh in Hyderabad. So it's a 2-hectare single structure A-frame. So they are growing almost all 40-50 varieties of leafy or herbs inside that structure. And quality you can see that in the month of May, June, they are growing iceberg also. So we have 2 major projects here, one that Simply Fresh and other that KBC, where Dr. Parveen has worked. He has planned and executed that project. So he will be speaking tomorrow. So it's a A-frame structure with the NFT growing system. So I will not go into detail. This is the same KBC structure. Actually, KBC is a subsidiary of the Dower. So you can see here, because here we have a 2-type roof, some are for white roof for cooling and this clear roof for winter heating. So I will skip here. So this is the Simply Fresh, that facility in Hyderabad. So it is a 25 acre. That the first phase we have completed in 2019. So they are planning to go for next expansion probably end of this year or maybe next year. So they are growing everything there. So there's a small video. So I will show you that this state of art project. Probably it is the one of the most advanced project in India. डाल दो। So simply fresh, this is the most advanced state-of-art project that we have built up in India. So it took probably 4 years for us to planning and execute this whole project. So I was very happy to know that Dr. Moria that told me yesterday that he has been to this farm a few months back, and he has seen the moving gully system that one side you are sowing the seed, on the other side you are harvesting the leafy crops. So that's the most advanced, and probably that it is the one of the few projects that which follow the global gap certification in India. So next crop is that vine crops like tomato, bell pepper, and cucumbers. So you can see where you can grow in net house, in poly house, or in retractable. So normally that I will not repeat the same because poly house is the most widely used for these crop. Also that in your Rajasthan area, many net house structure, they are coming up with the government subsidy. So retractable roof is the best for both hot and humid climate, because as I told you earlier that insect and disease press is less in retractable roof, and you can have a probably better crop with the extended harvesting season. Pollination is the most challenge actually in most of these covered structures, because honeybees, they can't enter inside. But in retractable roof, it's not a challenge actually. You will find that one of project that we sold to Namdhari Seed, they purchase only for this region that they need not to put up that bumblebees inside the structure. So tomato crop, as you can see here, uh, so we can have a yield of something like 35 to 45 kg for a Roma type tomato, and for cherry type tomato that 20 to 25 kg, or for this beef type tomato that is also used in these pizza, burger, or some slicing type tomato that something like 55 to 60 kg per square meter that we are getting. So cucumber, as you can see that this project is also in India, that most of photograph I'm showing here, that these are the Indian project actually. So this is a triangle farm. So you can see they are growing almost all vine crops like cucumber, color capsicum, melons. So you can grow although that in net house or in poly house, but for a longer duration, for a extended season, for more cycle, for better yield, for better quality, Crabo is the best. So this is the same triangle farm. You can see that in the Simplifresh also, they have also built up 2 hectares. But this triangle farm is a 15-acre single structure. So yield of that normally that in net house you get 8 to 10 kg per square meter. In a polyhouse, you get 10 to 12 kg. But in the retractable, you are getting 15 to 20 kg per square meter. So yield is also high and shelf life is very good because you have a thicker wall and due to the thicker wall, you have a more shelf life of your crop. So this is again the triangle farm that you can see. This is a 15-acre structure, and here the owners of the project. So I will skip here. Berries is a very important crop now because of its price and lesser availability in the country. So whether it's a strawberry, blackberry, blueberry, raspberry. So these are all very high value crop, except strawberry. That if you find in any retail store, all these berries, they are very costly, something like 3,000 to 5,000 rupee per kilo. That mostly you will get frozen, not the fresh one. But now that some projects they are coming up here in India also, although that you can grow some of these berries in tunnels in hills or hills of Himalaya or in the winter also, you can grow in the northern winter because all these berry actually they need some minimum 300, 400 hours of chilling actually so that it has a good flowering, fruiting, and taste also. That because as more winter, then it means that more sweetness. So you can plan in a fan-fed structure if you are planning for a extended season. So where is in the retractable roof? You can see here that we have a very big project going on in Western UP. But due to NDA, I can't show you the picture, but you can see this picture from other places that we have in the other part of the world. So you can extend your season, you can have a better quality, you have a firmer fruit. So for a long distance, you can see the type of growing system that mostly it is in a mixture, different mixture of cocoa peat media. You can see these crops here. Mostly strawberry is grown in Mahabaleshwar in a large area, but also it's becoming popular in Haryana, Rajasthan, Punjab, and Himachal also. But yield is still very less because most of is grown in the open field. But you have to have a protected environment or structure like this, then definitely you are not only increasing your yield, but also you can extend your growing season because about that seasonal strawberry, they are available from January onward. But if you can have a structure like this in your climate also, you can start your harvesting from September. Then price is something like 1,000 rupee or 1,000 plus rupee per kilo. So blueberry, that as I told you that we are building one of the largest structure in Western UP for 115 acre. And probably that many more are coming up because all the 400, 500 tons of blueberry we are importing from other countries. So if we have more such projects, then definitely that we give the benefit to the entrepreneur. Size quality is very good, pollination no issue. So many fruit crop, as I told you, you can grow in the retractable just to protect, not only to protect against the vagaries of nature, but also that to extend your growing season to have a better quality of fruit. You can see here also we can grow these kiwis, these fig, then cherry, then apple, then mango, whatever that. So there are already that many structure they are employed here like anti-hail net or tunnels for berries, polyhouses or rain shelters. But apple, that if you see that apple is grown in Himachal, Uttarakhand, or Kashmir area. That but if you see that productivity of apple is very less in India as compared to the world figure. That it is around 10 metric tons per hectare, whereas in in the world average is 40 to 50 tons per hectare. So we are 5 times less. If you compare with Australia or New Zealand or even the other apple growing area like USA, they are having 100 plus tons per hectare. So if you see that this project that we have done with the Wageningen University in Holland, so they are using this structure for reducing the number of sprays. As you see that if the Scotch people, they know that that there are a dozen of spray in a season uh, from after the harvesting of the crop up to till the next that harvesting. So there are 12 or 14 different sprays of fungicide and insecticide. So you can see that how much chemicals we are using, just like for the grapes also, that many huge sprays are taking place. But this project, research project shows that you can reduce your fungicide spray by 90% and insecticide spray by 60%. And also that under the retractable roof or this type of system, you can have a yield of 150 metric tons per hectare. 150. Here in India, we are getting 10 and world average is 40 and world best average is 100. So we can increase yield up to 250 metric tons per hectare, but somebody need to make the investment in this field. Similar in the cherries also. Like apple, that cherry has also very high value. Now that Himachal people or Kashmir people, they might be ready to go for harvesting because it is one of the first fruit that we harvest in the temperate region. So cherries prices, you can check in the market that they are very high, something like 200 to 500 rupee per kilo. So this dairy farm, you can see that just like we human being, animals also need a congenial environment. So you might have seen most of dairy farm in and around your place. So see this type of dairy farms that in Australia, New Zealand, many such dairy farms, they are coming up because animals also need a sun. They also need a protection against the rain or cold. So if you have such a congenial environment, definitely the type of animals that milk and meat that definitely going to increase. So nutraceutical crops, as Dr. Brahma Singh was speaking, that now after the COVID, actually, a lot of awareness is now coming up for the medicinal or nutraceutical crop, which has both medicinal as well nutritional value, like ginger, like turmeric, like ashwagandha, so many crops. So we have this project in Simply Fresh. They are growing in something in I think 6 hectare area that they are growing these 2, 3 crops there for a premium market. And definitely they are not getting the good yield, but the quality is very good. Flower nurseries, as you can see that in urban area, that lot of nurseries, they for the landscaping purpose, or even for a vegetable nursery, fruit nursery. So this technology is very good actually because what we need in nursery that now that you need to ship the material for a longer distance. But if you have a properly hardened plant with the good root shoot ratio and thicker stem, then the mortality of your plants will be very less at destination. So if you check that that most of nurseries in USA or Australia or even in the Germany, that they are with the retractable roof structure. So as I told you that I will make some comparison between the fan pad and retractable here. That if you see the 1,000 square meter of fan pad structure will cost you around 3,000 rupee. But the water consumption in the evaporative cooling system, and it is something like 12 crore liter per annum. I'm talking about that if you are using that system for almost 12 months a year, not that sometimes that people they are using 6-7 months, but it's for a whole year. That if you are using evaporative cooling system, 12 crore liter per annum for 1,000 square meter structure. And electricity consumption is something like 50,000 kilowatt per hour. And you know that the price of electricity in the urban area for commercial purpose is something like 8 to 12 rupees. So this will be the your cost of electricity. So when we compare it with the A-frame structure, although that the cost of structure is very high here, almost 4 times higher than the fan fed, but water consumption is 10 times less. It is here, sorry, 12 lakh 50,000 liter per annum, and electricity consumption is 5,000 kilowatt per hour. So you can compare if you will go a larger area, so that give you more advantage on the retractable roof side. Smaller structures are always very costly. So thank you very much. So we are building so many other projects now in coming years that you will find in this year, that one more project we will be completing. Thank you, Dr. Maurya, and thank you, Dr. Praveen, for inviting me for this important workshop. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir, for delivering a very nice lecture, particularly on the topic of protected structure is concerned. Because protected structures play a very important role for providing a microclimate around the plants, and this is a different kind of the structure which is not normally constructed by our growers, particularly in the plain areas. Normally, naturally ventilated polyhouse or fan-fed polyhouse are very popular in these areas. So I hope that our participants will be definitely benefited by the lecture which has been delivered by Sri Rajender Kumarji. And I once again I thank you very much. And this webinar is open for discussion. If audience has, you can say participants has any query, they are free to ask. Participants, please.
Hey, Dr. Maurya.
Yes, sir.
With your permission, can I just go ahead?
Yes, yes, sir. Sure.
Yeah. No doubt it is going to be a revolution in hydroponics, and specifically if we talk about this protected cultivation. Rajendra is really doing a good job in India and other part of Asia. One aspect which I foresee like going forward, if you really want to be competitive in market,
Dr. Praveen,
if
we
you
are
really want to
losing
be
your voice. Yeah.
a player in the market, hello. Yeah, I think there was some glitch in again the connectivity. So I'm just simply saying, a grower really want to be competitive in the market. The key is how to bring down the operational cost, and the retractable greenhouse is one option. However, I would like to hear more from Rajendra about the capital cost, because capital costs also create a lot of burden on any project. So if you can throw a light how the grower or the guy who want to venture in this, how they can optimize, except what you are saying, the area of scale. So what are other options as a buyer, as a grower we have, so we can get much more a weighted advantage by retractable greenhouse? So yeah, I would like to hear, Rajendra, from you about how to minimize the cost of these retractable houses.
Thank you, Dr. Praveen. It's a very important question, actually, that most of people actually, and thanks that I expect that this type of question from you, because our Indian market is very price sensitive. We are not probably as much quality sensitive, but price sensitive, we are very much. But we have tried different ways that how we can bring down the cost of this grabo structure. The biggest hurdle to us is the import duty, that is around 30%. 30%, you can see that. Government of India actually need to reduce the import duty on such technologies. Even if that we are trying to build up these structures here, but the issue that we need to have a something like 100 plus hectare order per annum, so that we can build up the same factory just like we have in Canada, so that we can build up here. Issue again that what we are finding here, that the type of steel that although that we have a very good company like Tata Steel, but the type of galvanization that required the zinc coating over the steel, that are not happening here even in India also. That because after the processing of the material, we have to put up in the zinc tank, then for this zinc coating, then that challenge that we still have here in India, because when we tried to build up this 115-acre project, because it's a huge project, something like 500 tons of steel was required for this project. So we have sourced the material in India from Tata Steel, but when we went for galvanization, although that there is a German company here in India that have this in Gujarat or in Maharashtra, they have two units there. But after the processing of the material, means that cutting, drilling, holing, so everything that whole that we did. Then when we went to the galvanization, so we didn't forget the same quality as that we are getting from the Canada, because we are using the American steel galvanization. So that is the one issue that we find a challenge here. But hope that things will materialize in future also, because we are trying to shift our this production here in India and export to the other market like Middle East, because we are getting a lot of projects from the Middle East in the UAE or Saudi or Oman or Qatar. So we have only 100 plus hectare order from that region. And because of this conflict between the Russia and Ukraine, so that things are becoming more worse. And so we are thinking to have the permanent production here, but it will take time and we need to have some minimum orders. And thank you, Dr. Praveen. It's a very good question. And that if you see the roofing material that we are actually type of stitching that you might have seen in the gravo structure, because we never touch the plastic with the steel. So that's the reason that we have a very longer life of our this plastic. So always there is a connecting system between the steel and plastic. So that all stitching, that has to come from Canada only, because they have developed that system, machinery and equipment. So we are having only in that region.
Thank you. Yes, Dr. Praveen Singh.
Yeah, so that is the indication. Even my target was also there, because not only the shipping, the kind of excise duty and all we pay, these structures become costlier. So
Yeah.
if we could manage to get some of these part here in India,
Yeah.
so it is going to be really good. I would like to even extend my support if you really want to deal with these startups for a quality improvement, because they also never compromise on the quality if you provide these specs. So it's really
Yeah.
a futuristic technology. And yeah, going forward, we are going to see more and more structure in this.
Yes, sir.
Have to think on the farmers level, because so far it is rich guys together and
I got your question, Dr. Praveen. I understood that because you want that this type of technology should be make affordable for the farmer level actually. So let me say that if you remember that when this polyhouse technology came to India and ICR built up one of the first center of excellence during 1995, and after this liberalization took place, then at that time price of that structure was something like 1,500 rupee per square meter. Now after you can say that 20 years, the price is 1,000 rupee per square meter of that similar type of structure. So once the technology actually expand, just like mobiles, that so now mobile is getting 5,000 rupee. You are getting smartphone, a smart mobile. But you remember that 10 years back, it is something like 1 lakh rupee per one set. Technology will definitely become cheaper and affordable to the people once it become popular.
yeah, that's really a good indication.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dr. Moria is doing a lot of effort for promoting these type of high tech. I don't know how you can take it this or how you can take it forward, but what I would suggest, there is a need for creating some skilled resources also. So maybe if you can have some collaboration with maybe in consultation with Dr. Moria, if you can take some student who are interested for these type of technology on an exposure visit, because this is going to be a little costly. So that maybe some government project or something, Dr. Moria can further explore that, because there is a need for creating the skilled resources around the new, which is gradually becoming a challenge for people like me who are dealing with different high-tech growers. So I don't know how you can take up this one, but that is a need. Maybe you can just share your thought process on. So it will be a good for the student, new budding young entrepreneurs, plus those who are going to come out of their degrees and courses, because I'm sure that good number of our students are also part of this discussion. So yeah, if you can share some of your thought process on that, it will be good for everybody.
Thank you, Dr. Praveen. It's very good that when we started in 2014-15, so you know that we used to take our people from some people from India to Mexico to show the structure, because we do not have any structure here in India. Now we have a structures here. And I'm very thankful to you that you have involved me in such a good discussion here. Uh, and I have spoken to Dr. More has spoken to me in very length, in detail yesterday. So we will definitely work together in this direction. And I'm also happy to know that Mr. Ankur Anand will be speaking tomorrow, because he after you that he has joined the KBC. So I think that is the nearest place where a student can visit and see this type of technology. Thank you, Dr. Praveen, and thank you, Maurice
Hello,
sir.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
please.
you. Thank you. Any other participants?
hello. Sir, this is the retractable greenhouse is nicely concept, but in case of adverse condition like in hot summer and rainy seasons, we can use this retractable greenhouse as an alternate source for growing other vegetables.
Definitely. That's why I actually probably you missed that video. But if you go to our website www.cravo.com, or you kindly join a YouTube channel that we are doing here, Cravo Asia, CRAVO Asia, ASIA. So you will find all those video, even that we have a lot of videos there on the YouTube or on the Cravo Asia channel. So you will find that for all weather, that as I told you, that except for a very high temperate region like Russia, that we are not suitable in that region. But in rest of period, there is no problem for us. Whether it's the wind or rain or storm or whatever that. So it's very good.
Shall I have a
Any
question?
other participants?
Sir, shall I have a question?
Yeah, please.
Sir, I am Dr. Asha Joseph from Kerala Agriculture University. And
Great.
it is our Kerala is a humid tropical climate, and majority
Yeah.
of our polyhouses are naturally ventilated polyhouses. And
Yeah.
comparatively it is cheap. Comparatively it is cheap compared to your structure, what you have discussed and all. And
Yeah.
can you tell me what is its promotion in Kerala? Whether it is whether this structure can be promoted so that somehow it is a comparatively cheap structure compared to that refractable polyhouse and all. What is your impression about that? Or I want to know whether this cultivation in this such a naturally ventilated polyhouse can be promoted, and the systems like IoT and all, whether we are able to apply in naturally ventilated polyhouse such systems, such things and all, I want to know.
So, as probably I have mentioned in my presentation also, that because tropical humid climate, just like your whole belt or Western Ghat or Eastern Ghat, it's a very challenging climate actually, because I have been to Cochin actually 3 years back. Before that, flooding took place at Cochin. So I've been invited by that airport authority that they wanted to build up the structure there. So, but thereafter the flooding took place, and that project is still hanged. But I understand the Cochin climate or Western Ghat or Kerala climate. Actually, it's very hot and humid, especially it has a very extended rainy season up to the winter actually. From June, July, August, September till November, December, you have a cloud cover and you have a lot of high humidity. So high humidity is a very challenging actually. But in polyhouse, I think it's a very big challenge. You need to have either a rain shelter type structure, uh, but
Yes.
if you are putting a retractable structure, definitely that is going to be a very beneficial for you. Why? That because during rainy season, you are facing two challenges. One is the temperature, another is the humidity and rain also. So that challenge, that how to protect your plant. So I have seen that continuous 3, 4 cloudy days for 1 week, complete cloudy day. There is no sun at Cochin. So in that location, probably if you have a retractable roof, because retractable roof not only protect your crop against the rain, but it has a very good ventilation also. Even you have a cloud cover for 1 week, if you have a good ventilation that going on and you are keeping your plant dry, that is very good for that climate. Although it's still challenging, somebody need to actually test that. But why I'm saying that already we have a project in the similar climate in Philippines, in Indonesia, and yeah, because those areas also in the tropics, they are having the hot temperature and humidity. So even if you want to, ma'am, know more about this technology, I did a one presentation. So kindly take my number from the Dr. Moria. So I will share you that presentation for that climate. Or even if you go to our that channel, that Cravo Asia, that's a YouTube channel. So you will find that presentation that I have did specially for hot, humid climate like Kerala or Western Ghat.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you for nice interactions. Any other participants, if they have any questions? Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, please. Sir, there is one question. What about the cold arid zone, particularly for Ladakh areas? Is it possible?
Yeah, it's possible. So because if you see the Leh region, Leh is not a because snowfall doesn't take place at the Leh. Snowfall always take place at the in the surrounding hill area. So Leh actually, I actually had a talk with your Kajri research station that there that guy scientist working there. So I had interaction with that person there. But now because we are working with this cost Srinagar, so they are putting up that one pilot project for research for different fruit crops or even for leafy and veggie also. So probably that once that project come into that is still actually under the process. But if that project come up, then definitely that will show that how this technology will be fruitful for Leh Ladakh region also. But although that we have a project in Mongolia actually, that is for nursery purpose, forest nursery purpose. So that is doing well since 2012 actually. So, but you need to actually specify about what crops you want to grow there.
Actually, sir, in Rajasthan also, the climate is very diverse. In some areas, there are more than 1,000 mm rainfall, and at some places, the rainfall is very restricted, and temperature is very high also. So, for a high rainfall area, particularly in Kota, where temperature is also high during the summers and low during the winters, and the area is subtropical. So, what about the feasibility of the such type of the polyhouses?
So we are very good actually this climate, sir, for the type of climate that you have in the Rajasthan, because your eastern part is hot and humid and western part is dry actually. So any peak roof model, X-frame model with insect net, whether it's a retractable, and of course, that will definitely do very well in your Kota, Jhalawar area. But on the western part, like Udaipur or that region, because their rainfall is very less, flat roof model will do very well because in the Middle East, we are doing more than 100 hectare for the last 2 years, actually. So still the orders coming on, waiting list going on. So that triggers to that Western Rajasthan and Kutch area, Aurangabad region, where the deficit in rain. For that, we have the cheapest flat roof model actually. That is doing wonderful in that climate.
My second question is that are these models are specific to a particular crop or only specific to particular location?
Actually, you know that Dr. Praveen knows this thing that because whenever any client approaches us, so we ask him to provide the climate data. and what crops to be grown and how much area to be covered. So we actually customize, as I told you, that we have a 75 different solutions. So we go to the microclimate level. So whatever the solution, that the best solution, the appropriate solution for your climate, crop, place. So we actually design the structure as per that. Broadly, the structure we have a 4 model. But specifically, when we go to the detail to the microclimate or the crop to be grown, then we decide on the model. Of course, with the technical support from the client also.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for sharing a lot of information about the retractable poly house. And I'm sure that my participants will be definitely benefited from this lecture. Actually, this was the second lecture. I think now time for the lunch is coming. And our second next lecture will be arranged at 2:30 p.m. So all the participants, please take your lunch box, and we will come again at 2:30 p.m. again. So thank you to Dr. Rajendra Kumar for delivering a very nice lecture. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. Namaskar.
Thank you, sir. Nice.
Dear participants, the next lecture will be 2:30 p.m. So it is requested to all of you kindly join at 2:15 p.m.